When I entered the convent in 1963, I'm done. Mother Superior said, "My child, why do you want to become a nun?" "I don't know." "Well, you want to love God and serve your neighbor, right?" "Yep, that's it." And it took me about 5 years to figure out the real answer to that question. I was an 18-year-old virgin. I was so protected and inhibited that I had never even been kissed. And my mother did the best she could, but her advice to me was, "Teresa Nicholetti, don't let a boy make a plaything of your body." Okay. So I realized that being afraid of sex was not a very good reason to take a vow of chastity. I better get out there and figure out who I really was, especially who my sexual self was. But there was a hitch, because when I entered the convent in 1963, it was still really the 50s. Crew cuts, crinolines, and clean rock and roll. When I came out in 1968, pow! It was the 60s. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I had no idea where to begin. So I took a folk music class at the local community college. And that was really okay until the professor introduced a song called the Lonesome Bedroom Blues. Of course, his telephone is a phallic symbol. "Charlie, what's a phallic symbol?" And I watched his face turn red as he wrote in my notebook, "the male sexual organ." So I turned my own shade of red. So then I tried the young Catholic singles dances, where I met Carlos, very nice man. "Teresita, would you have dinner with me?" "Sure." "Well, come on, let's dance." So we're doing this nice slow dance. And suddenly, I feel this hard thing pressing against my belly. Carlos was tall. And I didn't know what it was. But I was really uncomfortable, and I decided dinner was not such a great idea. Then in 1971, my friend Tom, who used to be a priest, introduced me to Richie, who used to be a brother, which is kind of like a boy nun. We had so much in common. And he had a mustache and jeans. Well, it was the 60s. I never saw that before. So we held hands walking through the zoo, and we picnicked at the botanical gardens. And when we slow danced, I didn't mind it. I should have known, though, when he told me that his favorite song was the Moody Blues, "If only you knew what's inside of me now, you wouldn't want to know me somehow." Richie wanted to smoke pot and have sex. "Oh, come on, man. Communication is going to be so much clearer, and we can be so close." I said no. I guess I wasn't ready for that level of sophisticated intimacy. So he broke up with me by not coming to Thanksgiving dinner. Took me months to get over it. Thank you for that awe. I really... First I took the chocolate cure, then I took the Weight Watchers cure. And then I got a really cool job, and I was making good money for the first time, and I decided I was going to give myself a treat, a vacation. So I went to Bolton Valley Lodge in Vermont. Hey. And I packed my brand new white jeans, size 16, which for me was a really good size, and my hiking boots, and I couldn't wait to get started. So the next morning, I'm hiking up the hill, and I run into these 3 new people, Alan and Terry, who were a couple, and Greg, who was single and gorgeous, and a scuba instructor, my first jock ever. So we talked for hours, even after Alan and Terry left to go back to their campsite. And I was fascinated by his blue eyes and broad shoulders. Oh, well, it was my first job. I didn't want it to end. So, Greg, you want to come and have dinner with me up at the lodge? Sure, great. I'll go back to the campsite and change, and I'll be there at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock's great. So we're having dinner, and we were sipping our coffee, and we started holding hands, and then we were playing with our fingers, and I started to feel this tingling come over me, and I wanted to, Terry, I think we better get a room. I have a room. So we went upstairs, and we stood by the bed, and we were hugging and kissing, and suddenly he pulled away, and he said, Terry, I didn't bring anything. Bring anything for what? We just had dinner. Protection. Oh my God, I never even thought about getting pregnant. Greg, can you just give me a minute? So I went into the bathroom and sat down on the toilet to have a little chat with myself. Terry, you cannot get pregnant right now. But Terry, you just got the best job of your life. But Terry, you have always said that you thought abortion was a sin. Now, if you get pregnant, are you ready to have this child? Yes, I am. How hard could it be? So I went back out into the bedroom. Greg, I really want to do this. Well, when did you last have your period? Just a couple days ago. Well, then you can't get pregnant. Oh, God, please let him be right. So the next morning, I woke up next to this really sweet, tender guy. I was very lucky. And we tried to have a relationship for a while because girls, we're supposed to get excited by bodice-ripping, passionate sex, right? But sometimes isn't gentle and tender really sexy? Am I right? Yeah, guys, listen. Sometimes it's really nice. So we did try for 6 weeks. Well, it was Long Island and Buffalo, you know. He even asked me to marry him. And when I said no because it was too short of a time, he broke up with me by not coming to Easter dinner. True story, I don't know what it is about me and men in the holidays. But that's not the point. The point is, I learned something. I was breaking free. Whether it was going to be sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or poverty, chastity, and obedience, or something in between, it was going to be my decision. And I was going to know why I was entering into it.